Aquarius. My cards were like, you better do Aquarius. So it looks like Leo's gonna be last. I wanted to finish these before I did anything about Scorpio, so. Nothing but blue skies, honey. Here we go. You're dealing with a Scorpio. Or transformative energy, or maybe thinking about your past. Mercury retrograde in Scorpio is going to square your energy. Singing me your 10th house of career, right? Hi, Kay, Harley. What's up? I'm cutting your cards now, Aquarius. So you're dealing with transformation, you're thinking about the past, you're dealing with control, you're dealing with communication, you're dealing with controlled communication. You feel like your communication might be being restricted because you might be trying to protect the way that someone feels about something because you have a history with them and it might be more sensitive than not. Okay? And at the bottom, you got sensitivity. Cancer moon, moon in Cancer. Cancer got this card as their challenge. You could be dealing with a boss, a lady boss. You could be dealing with, you know, how you are asserting yourself in terms of an opportunity or something that's being provided to you that might bring about a change for you. It might make you feel a little more transformed. Or, you know, it's something that you feel like you need, right? Because the moon needs, right? It's nurturing, something that you feel like is going to make you feel better about your reality. Because the fours are also talking about realities, right? Your environment, you know? And it's almost kind of like how your environment affects you emotionally. So we're talking about how your environment is affecting you emotionally, Aquarius, you know? And you might be wanting to feel like there's something that you want to happen to change whatever the environment is. And it's kind of like you might be complacent in that wanting that need for the change. And the change might not be happening the way that you want it to, right? Or it's like you can have the change, but it's not going to be everything that you wanted the change to be right away, you know? Cuz there's some work here, right? You have to work past some emotional, you know, power struggles that you might be having, right? Because it's a four, so it's related to the Emperor in Aries, and Pluto is significant to Aries, being a co-ruler with Mars. Okay. Also, this card is related to the Death card because that's a 13, and that's a major arcana, and it's related to the fours as well. So we're talking about, you know, definitely controlling your emotions, right? Um, and with the power to control your emotions, right? Because you might be wanting to be, you might be being triggered, you might be being tempted, right? Because Pluto is talking about temptation and Mars is talking about temptation, right? As far in terms of like the Emperor being four, right? Desire and control and power and will and being able to control the effects that something is having on you, controlling yourself, right? Because it's a four, so it's talking about yourself. You might be holding back, you know, so that's what it is. The struggle within the complacency is because you're holding back. You can't express like the moon wants to. You might be wanting to say all the things, but it's like you may not be able to right now. Anyway, let me go ahead and lay your cards out, okay? Nothing fell out. I've already cut the deck, so I'm going to go ahead and do the classic ascendant spread. Providence Tarot. Known. I mean, the shape of the spread and the look of it might be similar to others, but there are positions here, right? And they relate to each other. Here we go. So in the center of your reading, Aquarius, you have the sun. So you're dealing with illumination, focus, motivation, right? The sun here being number 19, that's the awareness of what you have learned, right? What you are realizing, because the sun is talking about realization. It's talking about what your capabilities are. You're realizing what you're capable of. Hi, Aquarius moon. Okay, giving you 7 of swords. This is Leo, so this is opposition, right? So you're reflecting on something, right? You're weighing something out, right? Something is being brought to light for you. It's like you can't deny it because the sun is something that you can't deny, right? And this is talking about growth and expansion, right? Because it is a 19. Hi, Carletta. It is a 19, and that's the 10, right? And that's related to the Jupiter, the Wheel of Fortune. And if you look at this, this is a Wheel of Fortune energy, honey. Being a big circle, a sun, right? Vitality, youthfulness, romanticism as well. Yes, Team Aquarius, you know my ruling planet is in my 11th house. Okay? So, yeah, this is talking about, you know, focus, motivation, creativity, drive. How are you using this energy? How are you using this energy? You know what I mean? Hi, Ladybugs. Because it's kind of like, it's funny because I'm in a different place too. Aquarius. Change of perspective. Um, but yeah, it's like how you see yourself, right? Being that it's a 10, so it's talking about career. So it could be related to work for sure, Aquarius. And it's how you identify with your, you know, your responsibilities and your obligations and what you allow yourself to focus on, you know? So it's kind of like, you know, what you're giving away, right? What you might be receiving as well. It's kind of like you want something more, and the sun definitely wants something more, you know? The Pluto is exalted in Leo. So it is talking about transformative energy and change, generating energy and power that's going to constantly feed you. So you're looking for something that's going to constantly feed you because what is being fed to you now, you might be being bored with it. You know, that might be something. You want something to change, right? A card's peeking out. Maybe I should show it to you. Page of Rods talking about change, right? Being enthusiastic about making a change occur, feeling capable within that change too. Because you're like, well, yeah, I want this to happen and I'm ready to do it. You know, yeah, I'm going to jump or I'm going to climb up this or something. You know, it's kind of like that. Let me get this going, you know? And it's kind of like, it's coming from a place of like youthfulness too. So the sun is actually related to that because this is youthfulness as well, right? Optimism. The sun is definitely optimism and hope, right? Because number 19, that's talking about, you know, 10, optimism and hope, you know, belief in oneself that you can do. Your career can always transition or transform into something else that came from something, you know, because this talks about the origins of something, right? The origins, right? And this card, the Moon in Cancer, does talk about the origin of something as well because the home is what Cancer rules and the mother is what Cancer represents. And if that's not talking about originality and origins, then I don't know what is. You know what I mean? And you know a thing or two about being original. Hello. Let's look at what your immediate influence or your challenge is. You got Moon in Taurus. This is an exalted card. The moon likes being there because the moon needs and receives, and this is getting what you need and received, right? This is talking about work too. Is it satisfying you? Are you getting what you need and what you need out of work? You know, you're also being critical of your job, right? And if it's providing what you need and what you want, right? What's going to bring you security, right? And it's kind of like your idea of what it gives to you that may not always be monetarily. It could be money and pleasure, right? Because sometimes our job gives us money, but it doesn't give us pleasure. That money can buy pleasure, but it's kind of like you have to keep going to that job that you don't like. And then it's like, can you experience true pleasure with those things that you have? You know, if you might be giving up things, right? You know, what are you allowing to? It's kind of like what you allow to go on, right? You know, and you might just be realizing what you have been allowing, right? That has now started to become the foundation of your experience, right? You know, and it's also what you allow yourself, because it's not really always what you allow other people. It could be what you allow yourself, you know, because Taurus is talking about choosing to be in a position, right? In a place, right? Status. You know, you're looking for a change of status, right? Because you might be feeling like you're still in the same place that you have been, right? In some kind of way, shape, or form, you know? Or you might still be dealing with something that you've always dealt with, right? And you haven't been wanting to change it. But now it's like the change is kind of like in your head. You're thinking about it. Because this is Mercury as well. It's related to the lovers, right? Where's the reciprocity? Am I losing more than I'm getting? You know what I mean? Because sometimes it's time to kind of pull out of the crap game, or what do they call, the card game, or like the poker game, or whatever hand that you are playing. You might want to just lay it down on the table. You know what I mean? For some of you, right? You're just kind of thinking about that in terms of like work, right? You might even be thinking about a new job, getting a new job, because this is talking about getting things, what I can do, opportunity, right? And this is talking about work, right? This is definitely opportunity, getting your just due, right? So some of you are going to be getting something that you do deserve, right? And you're going to feel good about that, which is wonderful, right, Aquarius? Let's look at your past position. Wow. Another 10. So now this is related to the Sun card, right? This could be a relationship, right? Right? It could be a love, or it could waiting on retro to pass to hop on something in alignment. Yep. See, there you go. And this is, Pisces energy is also talking about actively sacrificing something or actively submitting to something so that you can get what you want, right? Because this is a 10, right? When it's related to the 10th house, which is Capricorn. Capricorn wants something, executive order, right? I'm making this conscious decision as the one that's in charge of me, of my career, right? Because you have to think about the fact that it is your life, right? And this is a 10, so it reduces to a 1, and that talks about the awareness in the beginning of who you are. This is your life. So if there are things that you feel like you are giving up that are a part of your life, your reality, to other things that are really just supporting energy in the main event that is your life, right? We really need to think about that, right? Am I getting what I need? Am I getting what I want? Is this an alignment? Because the 10s are talking about a line of things. Is this an alignment with what I want, right? How am I receiving this? It's an opportunity to have what you want, right? Every day is an opportunity to have what you want or to be closer to what you want. So this is talking about a new beginning as well, in terms of work and career, but also in terms of like how you see yourself, you know what I mean? And the support that you give to yourself, because it is Mars, right? What's the compassion that you're showing yourself? You really were identifying with where you come from, where you've been, and where you're going. And you're like, this is what I want and this is what I deserve. And I'm identifying with this new, this new respect, this new value that I have for myself, right? And other people will start to see that, and then that makes you more attractive, because this is kind of like a card of attraction as well, And it's a 10, so it's talking about, letting something be, the impetus, the drive, the motivation, you know what I mean? It's like you're feeling more motivated right now, right? But you still do have this complacency here, because there's something that you can't do something about, right? Or there's something that you feel like has more power over you than you would like it to have. And it could also just kind of be like part of your experience that, has been dormant, right? And it comes out in different ways at different times, and it can be confusing with that Pisces energy, right? Emotional triggers, because Mars gets triggered, and Pisces talks about emotional triggers, and also so does the 4th house being Cancer, right? Emotional impulse, right? So it's like the emotional impulse could be bringing the awareness of something, your awareness of something that needs to change, that's going to give you what you want. Be closer to it. Knight of Cups situation, right? Pisces, 1/3 Aquarius. This is a change in perspective that is allowing you to see what it is that's going to bring you some kind of like emotional rest assured, right? So this is saying that you can rest assured with something, right? And also the Knight of Cups, he's healing. So you guys could be healing from a situation, right? There could be a disappointment as well, perhaps, that you might be healing from. Or maybe you're feeling disappointed in something, and that's what the um the intimidation is coming from, right? You might even have mixed feelings about something, you know, because the Knight of Cups does have mixed feelings, you know, and now, you know, you come from this place of the Ten of Cups and the Page of Cups, and now you're at the Knight of Cups, right? Because you've earned something, and there's some kind of responsibility here that you have, right? To really see what it is that's being shown to you upon reflecting, right? And it's also like definitely taking it in, because the Knight of Cups definitely knows how to take in, you know, the consideration for feelings, right? And it's almost like you don't want to hurt someone, probably Aquarius, or you don't want to, you know, you don't want to hurt someone's feelings. You're trying to be open and honest, right, with how you feel, right? And you're doing it gently, right? You're coming in with, you know, uh, just an awareness of how you're of tact. Anyway, let's look at your moon position. Yes, getting what you want. This is the wish card. This is Jupiter and Pisces in the moon position, right? It's talking about travel. You might be having to go somewhere to get what you want. You know, it's talking about goal, being goal oriented, right? And your goals are basically wishes that you have that you could see yourself carrying out. You know what I mean? Just make sure that you don't get too you know, you don't get too in over your head in terms of like what it is that you want. You know, you're gonna have to be definitive about what it is that you want. You're so late. Hey, boo thing. Oh no, you're not late. It's saying being definitive about what you're wishing for, right? Because we have to know what we're wishing for, right? Because this is like the Knight of Cups has a desire, he has a need, he has a want, right? But he's Pisces. He's 1/3 Aquarius as well. And Aquarius's motto is I know. So it's kind of like knowing what you want and knowing who you are, right? And this is kind of like going for what you want. You know, sometimes this card is talking about you might have to sacrifice something to get what you want. You know what I mean? We have to do that all the time, you know? Because what we want is not necessarily going to be in line with what other people want for us. You know, because what other people want from us might just be our mere presence. And I'm like, well, if you want me to just be here, it's preventing me from doing what I actually really want to be doing. Or if you want me to be here in this way, shape, or form, or in this fashion, then you're going to have to, like, you know, have me in this way. Because I have things that I want. I have things that I want to do. You know what I mean? And if, you know, if I have to move forward, right, to get these things that I want, you know, I'm gonna have to do that without you. Because this kind of like is a solitary card just because it's a 9 and that's related to the 9th house of Sagittarius, right? And it has Jupiter energy. This is the card of luck and getting it, right? Right? Overwhelming sense of need for one's, you know, purpose, because the 9s have purpose, or an overwhelming sense of one's purpose and what has to be done about that. You know, what is your position as well? You know, because the 9s have to talk about what your position is with things, because it's talking about philosophies and what you've learned, right? And when I learn, right, when I receive the information and I apply that information, then it's you know what I'm doing, where I'm going from here, right? Because it's like you learn so that you can take that and do something with it, you know, develop different levels of self, you know. We're talking about you being seasoned and knowing what it is that you want and need. It's talking about what you want and what you need, you know, because you know that now with the experience. You're like, oh, well, you know, I've submitted to things, you know, I've been unhappy with things before, you know, to let people have what they want. But now it's talking about what I want. It's been about what you want and what you need, because you know, what you want might definitely have to do with what you need. You know, because sometimes we're like, wait, we have the realization, right? Right? That stir up, that we were motivated, and we're like, wait, this is what needs to happen. This is what needs to change. And then you're like, well, it's been this way, so it's going to take me to make the change happen, or make others, right, aware of the change that's going to occur, right? So, you know, it's kind of like sometimes you just have to do it, you know, and that's what that Sagittarius energy teaches us. You just have to do it, right? And Pisces too, because Pisces is willing to kind of like take risks, you know. So this is definitely talking about taking a risk. You know, this is talking about taking a risk for sure. And the sun, you know, the sun knows a thing about just going and taking risks, with the Pluto being exalted there, you know. Let's look at your anxieties, okay? Right, we were talking about this. You have anxieties in terms of like a Scorpio, the person that you might be dealing with. This could be work involved, you know. It's kind of like you might be needing to leave something behind for good. You know that having what you want means that you might have to leave something behind for good, and that's why you have the anxieties. You know what I mean? Because this is, you know, in your moon position, in your sun and your moon position, you have cards that are sort of, developed. These are cards that have developed through the suit of the cups, right? So the sun, you got the knight, right? That's very like, you know, Sagittarius energy, being that it's kind of like the knights are usually on a horse, right? And the knights are ruled by the chariot. That's talking about moving forward, right? Sagittarius is Jupiter. Jupiter is exalted in Cancer, which is the chariot card, talking about movement forward, right? This is a 9 in your emotions. You know, in your subconscious, in your spirit, right? You want to move forward from a situation. But in the anxieties, you're going back, right? You're looking at things from a place of like, where what how this has affected me. Or you might be just going over things in your head, and it's affecting you and your ability to see where you need to be like definitive, or more purposeful in like where you're going. You know, the past can sometimes like hinder us a little bit, right? And if we're stuck in our past in our present, that's definitely hindering us, right? And the sixes are talking about habitual things. You know, you might be having a habit of just kind of like showing some level of compassion towards, you know, this thing that you may have like shared something with, you know, an attachment that you may have had to something that might have been around work. You know, just feeling like a part of like a family or something. And it's kind of like, you know, now it's time to detach from that. It's taught you something, because it is talking about learning and lessons and things right here, with the with the sun being in Scorpio, right? Because the sixes are talking about you know, the sixth house, right? Which is talking about, you know, planning and a natural rhythm. So this is talking about a natural ending of something, right? Because Sun in Scorpio is talking about transformations, bringing the focus to transformation and to moving on, and making a change that's needed for you to feel like you have developed and you have matured, because this is a youthful energy. So this is like, you know, leaving something behind that has outgrown itself, you know, or maybe you've outgrown something and you keep trying to refer back to that which you have outgrown, right? In your spirit and in your mentality, you've outgrown it. Because it talks about mental capacity as well, with the 6. Anyway, and the 9s. Right? In your Mars position, you have a 4 card, which is talking about bringing an ending to something. Right? Intention. Where's your intention lying? You might fear the ending. You might be fearing just kind of like you having to make the definitive statement, right? That something has ended, or something is ended, or you desire something different, right? And this is kind of like you letting go of something, not trying to control it, right? Not obsessing over the fact that it is going to win, and it probably has needed to win. You got the Death card next to the Sun and Scorpio card right here. So we're about to go into a Mercury retrograde, right? The 6s are related to Mercury, right? And this is talking about a job, talking about the past, talking about, you know, just maybe a lot of time too. What you might be allowing within that. What you allowed in the past. You know, you may have allowed yourself to do things that that weren't fully aligned with what you wanted just because it was like what you had to do. And this card talks about responsibility as well. So does this, you know, being that it's a Scorpio card and Scorpio is ruled by Mars and Mars is a dutiful planet. You know, and this is like you need to make way for something new to come in. You know, definitely. Make way for something new to come in. Stop trying to dominate something, right? Or stop trying to be the one that stops something from ending naturally. You know, just let it. Pluto and Mars. Okay. Let's look at your, yeah. Yeah, you got another 6. And it's talking about moving forward. This is Mercury in Aquarius. Mercury is detaching from something. Mercury is allowing itself to be free of something. And this is talking about work, right? Or something that was, you know, constant in your daily life, right? Something that you made a pattern within your life, within your rhythm, you know, right? So you could be changing up your rhythmic patterns or your work patterns, or the pattern that was once your, you know, your job, because your job is a pattern, right? Because you do it consistently, right? So you're definitely moving away from something that was consistent in your life, and that's the challenge. Yeah. And some of you might be dealing with like moving on from a mentor, right? Or someone that you know, you were learning from, or someone that helped you develop, right? Because this is talking about help towards development. This is talking about development, right? And they're helping each other. This is someone helping someone move forward in their. Honey, the fire. Look, I'm just gonna let it say. Someone moving forward in their perspective. Ah, stop. So, yeah, you're definitely moving forward. I know, whoa. So, you know, it needs to happen, right? It needs to happen. You need to burn it, right? The sun came up, right? Did you guys see that? It's going down now, but that was crazy. Oh my God, honey. But yeah, you're definitely changing. There we go. I got rid of it. You're definitely changing your perspective. You just did the same thing with the candle. Yeah, it's fine. There were some herbs in there, so probably that, you know, that's what happened. And it tipped over on its own. I'm gonna have to clean it out. I'm just realizing because I'm using my friend's thing, so now I gotta take care of that. But you know, this is someone taking care of you and someone helping you see that, you know, like you're not crazy. You know what I mean? This is also talking about, you know, the science of things. You've been critical with your analysis of this. You understand what it's going to take to move forward. Your perspective has changed. It's shifted. This is talking about a shift within your process and within your daily habit, right? Your daily rhythm. Something is changing. Frankincense does that. Oh, okay. Yeah, that was sage. Okay. Yeah. But we good. Um, that's going to be exciting to see. So you're definitely moving on, right? From a situation that you might have felt like was making you feel a little bit wobbly, right? It just what you know. It was there was something improvement that could have been made. You know, you were considering how to improve something. You know, because Mercury does want to make improvements, and so does Aquarius, because Aquarius is one of their co-rulers is Saturn, and Uranus is making an improvement to a situation that needed to change. You know what I mean? So that's where we're seeing an improvement because the change happened. So wow, that's different. Great. I feel like it's new and fresh. There's an improvement. Now I have a change of perspective, and I feel like I'm in a new place where I can move forward from that. You know what I mean? For sure. So that's good, Aquarius. And that's in their Venus position, which is talking about that's going to bring you pleasure. So this move is going to bring you pleasure, or this change, you know, because it's moving in the mind, changing in the mind, right? It's like if I'm changing focus in my mind, then that means that something else has been taken out of my headspace, okay? And I don't have to consider it any longer. Let's look at your energy moving forward. Okay. That change of perspective is going to give you a space to reflect and a space to, really work on some things that are going to help you figure out what it is that you do need and you want. You know, it's getting back to a very pure state, right? It's you guys here that are like, oh, you had a lot of cups here, so you're really feeling a lot. You have the Two of Cups, which I just flipped over, Venus in Cancer, right? And this is a lot of loving energy, right? This is the love for oneself, or it could also be the love of someone else, you know? So this change is causing you to actually like be able to love yourself more. It's making you feel like you're loving yourself more because you chose you. Or this is somebody understanding what it is that you needed for this change, and somebody understanding that you had a change in feeling, and this is a pure feeling, this is not coming from a place of, ego. All right, hon, I gotta go. You're so spot on like always. Have a great day. Love you, Angel. Thank you guys so much. And I know maybe you'll watch the rest later, right? But we have the Two of Cups is talking about the pure state of the Cups energy, right? I'm understanding. I'm giving to it. It's giving back to me. What am I giving back to my understanding and the information that I'm receiving? It's also giving your emotions a space to feel safe and secure. Feeling more emotionally secure, right? So you're going towards that. Feeling less of that insecurity and more into the secure place, right? And that's Cancer energy, right? And what's Cancer from you? Cancer is your sixth house, so it is talking about work a lot, you know. But we're talking about love here as well. So it's talking about the love that you have for your work and the love that you have for your career, you know. But it's kind of like, work and career. There's certain jobs where like you're doing that job and that job is what it's going to be until you're not doing that job anymore. But then within a career, that a career is not a job. A career is a job is a part of your career, but then your career is meant to elevate. It's meant to grow. It's meant to change. It's meant to evolve, right? You're meant to go from one place to another in terms of work, right? Evolution within the career, you know. So that means you could be branching out to something that is related to your career for some of you, Aquarius, right? Sun, Moon, Rising, or if you have Aquarius in your first house, or if you have Sun in your 11th house, or your ruling planet is in your 11th house. Okay, yeah, for sure. And look, Aquarius, the twos are all related to you in some kind of way. Look at that. It looks like an 11. And Gemini as well. So this is getting you back to a place of mental stability, emotional stability, for sure. And you feel more secure within yourself. So then you'll be able to feel more confident, right? Because Aquarius is related to confidence levels, right? And your mind, right? Okay. Another 2. So everything I just said, but then this is talking about perspective and making decisions, right? This is talking about this is travel too, goals, right? Making choices based on what your goals are. You know what I mean? Hello. And this is kind of like, it definitely has to do with career being moon, right? Because it's providing something, Being that this is a Libra thing, this is kind of like the evolution of a relationship and what you might have been allowing within a business relationship, right? And this is a change of perspective, right? And that's what's sparking this decision. You're determining something, weighing some things out for sure, being just about it, right? You're like, well, I'm not, just because I'm being fair to me doesn't mean I'm being unfair to you. You know, that type of thing. And it's kind of like detaching from something. You know, you're making a choice to detach from something, or to sort of like disassociate, you know, because disassociation is kind of a strong word, but it's kind of like, well, I'm no longer going to be a part of this institution in this way, right? Because the twos are talking about the second house and institutions, and that's Venus, right? Being it would be Taurus, you know, and this definitely would be talking to some Virgos out there too, right? If you're a cross watcher, I don't know why I'm saying that, but the 11th house to Libra would be Virgo. Um, and Virgo is ruled by Mercury, which is actually exalted in Aquarius. Okay. Hmm. Anyway, evolution. That's what you're doing. You evolved, honey. You changed. You're maturing, right? Let's see what your last card is. Ew. All right. Temperance. Gaining strength, right? It's a 5, so it's talking about, you know, where you find yourself, right? Looking around, seeing what it is that you need to 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 change, and right, pulling from your source of energy within, right? Gaining that kind of strength, spiritual strength. Yeah. It's understanding what you're capable of, and what you can do, and what you will do, and what you have to do, right? Because the Temperance card is talking about a responsibility that you have to adhere to the call, you know, that Spirit is making to you, right? And getting you to see where changes need to occur. Because it is talking about travel and movement forward, right? Some of you could be wanting to work in another place. Some of you could be wanting to move forward from an old reality, or an old job or institution, you know, or some old status that you were in, you know, a change of status for you, right? It's the spiritual alchemy. It's working some things out, balancing some things out, you know, mixing things up, changing things, you know, within your own reality. It's still your reality. You know what I mean? It's not like somebody gave you a new identity. You know, it's like you giving yourself a new identity, right? And that's powerful. It's you being the person that you know you are now. And this is really like, who am I now, and where do I go from here? You know? Just keep working, you know. And you have the Sun card here, which is bringing so much illumination, so much positivity to it, right? You have the Sun here and the Death card. Those are your only two major arcana cards. This is Pluto, right? And it's also Mars. And the Sun is Aries and Leo, right? Because the Sun is exalted in Aries, but it rules Leo. Pluto is a co-ruler with Mars in Aries, okay? And Pluto is exalted in Leo. All right? So we're talking about transformation. We're talking about identity. We're talking about your life force, right? Life and death. Sun is force. This is the life. This is the heart. What are you passionate about, right? Desire, passion and desire. What are you passionate about? Are you getting that? Are you allowing yourself to receive and do, and be wrapped in what you're passionate about, right? You have great passions. This thing, you know, did you see it? Did you see the fire, right? Aquarius. We're about to get up in your age, honey. The age of Aquarius. I'm living for it. And y'all see it all around. Trans, non-gender, conformist, LGBTQ, right? Organic, right? Not eating animals. Let's clean up the ocean. We've been needing to. Don't be in denial. When I see people drop trash and just kind of like leave it there, you are what you create. Okay. You got to think about it. We only got one world, right? It's like you only got one body. So if you destroy something, it's gone. But maybe that's what you guys need to do. You need to end something so that you can transform from that source of energy that you're working from. that source of energy that you're working from. Like, share, and subscribe, darlings. If you'd like to get a private reading with me, email providencetarotKendrick@gmail.com. Definitely share this video, please. Um, Follow me on Instagram, NYC Kendrick. That's my personal account. I'm also Providence Tarot, and I am Kendrick NYC. Um, yes, and if you like food, follow the Tongue Pop. That's my food account. I love you guys. Sorry that the reading came later, but you know, they come out when they come out, you know? Um, yeah. If some of you guys are living with your family members, then like you might be wanting to change that too. I don't know where that's coming from. All right, my loves. Leo is the last one that I have. I don't know if I'm going to do them today, maybe later, because I've already done Cancer and Aquarius. And the weeklies have to go up sometime soon. Happy Halloween, everybody. Scorpio season is coming up, and I have that energy very apparent in my chart. I love it. I love the layers.